The Kansas City Chiefs have built their identity on stability, precision, and calculated leadership. That is why the sudden release of a star player has shifted the entire conversation around the franchise. Moves of this magnitude rarely happen without layered reasoning. On the surface, it appears abrupt. Internally, it reflects months of evaluation. Championship organizations do not act impulsively. They act strategically. The timing of this decision suggests deeper structural planning, rather than emotional reaction. When a proven contributor exits a roster competing for titles, questions naturally follow. Was it financial pressure, performance decline, locker room dynamics, or long-term vision? Understanding this move requires stepping beyond headlines and examining the operational mechanics that guide elite franchises. In the NFL, difficult choices often protect future success more than they preserve past achievements. Every roster decision in the NFL passes through the filter of the salary cap. Even championship contenders must respect financial boundaries. High-value contracts signed during peak performance can become restrictive as team priorities evolve. The Chiefs operate with long-term vision, especially with significant resources allocated to cornerstone positions. Releasing a star player may reflect the need to restore cap flexibility. Financial breathing room enables extensions, strategic acquisitions, and depth preservation. Cap management is not merely accounting, it is competitive planning. When executives assess sustainability over multiple seasons, sentiment rarely outweighs structure. By creating space today, the organization may secure stability tomorrow. This financial recalibration, though unpopular in the short term, often strengthens a franchise's competitive foundation in the years ahead. Beyond finances, performance evaluation plays a decisive role. Coaches analyze film with relentless objectivity. Metrics extend far beyond public statistics. Efficiency, durability, situational execution, and scheme fit determine long-term value. Even elite players experience fluctuations in production. When output no longer aligns with cost or strategic direction, leadership must respond. The Chiefs emphasize system integrity over individual reputation. If internal assessments indicated regression or misalignment, action becomes inevitable. Such decisions rarely reflect a single poor game. They stem from comprehensive review across practices, conditioning reports, and matchup projections. By the time news becomes official, internal consensus has already formed. The release therefore signals calculated judgment rooted in evidence rather than emotion. Team culture remains one of Kansas City's greatest strengths. Leadership protects it carefully. A high-profile departure inevitably affects morale and chemistry. However, championship environments prioritize accountability. Every player understands performance expectations apply universally. If organizational standards demand change, credibility depends on enforcing them consistently. Veteran leaders within the locker room play a vital role during transitions. Their influence stabilizes focus and prevents distraction. When culture outweighs individual prominence, unity often strengthens rather than weakens. The Chiefs have cultivated resilience through years of postseason pressure. This moment tests that foundation once again. How the locker room absorbs the shift may ultimately determine whether disruption transforms into renewed collective discipline. Releasing a star alters tactical planning immediately. Coaches must redistribute responsibilities and adjust schemes accordingly. Yet strategic realignment does not imply decline. It can represent evolution. Football systems adapt continuously to personnel strengths. The Chiefs' coaching staff excels at maximizing versatility. By reallocating roles, they may unlock efficiency previously untapped. Younger players could assume expanded responsibilities, bringing speed or adaptability that refreshes execution. Change often reveals hidden potential within a roster. Opponents studying Kansas City must now anticipate different formations and usage patterns. Uncertainty creates strategic opportunity. In that sense, this move may enhance unpredictability rather than diminish competitiveness. High-profile releases resonate beyond one franchise. Rival teams interpret them carefully. Such a move communicates discipline and forward-thinking governance. It signals that past success does not guarantee permanence. Accountability applies equally to every roster spot. Competitors may initially perceive vulnerability, yet they also recognize organizational confidence required to make bold adjustments. Mid-trajectory. The Chiefs demonstrate willingness to evolve rather than defend reputation passively. In a league defined by narrow margins, that mindset often separates sustained contenders from fading powers. Perception influences preparation, but execution determines truth. The coming weeks will clarify how opponents respond strategically. To this shift, roster transitions create space for development. Younger players now confront expanded opportunity. Preparation transforms from theoretical to immediate responsibility. Coaching staff will evaluate readiness through increased repetitions and situational exposure. Development pipelines exist precisely for such moments. When succession planning proves effective, departures feel less destabilizing. Emerging contributors often bring hunger and adaptability that elevate overall tempo. If internal scouting projections prove accurate, this shift may accelerate generational transition within the roster. Championship teams periodically refresh identity without abandoning standards. Kansas City appears prepared for that evolution, trusting preparation cultivated behind the scenes. Fans invest emotionally in recognizable stars. Their departure carries symbolic weight. Jerseys and memories connect communities to players deeply. However, sustained excellence demands rational governance. Initial disappointment often yields to understanding once strategic rationale becomes evident. The Chiefs' recent history of disciplined decision-making builds institutional trust. Supporters may question timing, yet competitive credibility remains intact. Public narrative will fluctuate based on early performance outcomes. Ultimately, results will define perception. Winning recalibrates sentiment quickly. Leadership understands this dynamic and focuses internally rather than reacting to external noise. The immediate competitive effect will surface through performance metrics. Efficiency on critical downs, red zone execution, and defensive stability reveal structural strength. Analysts will scrutinize production gaps carefully. Depth becomes essential during physically demanding stretches. If replacements maintain consistency, the transition narrative shifts positively. Conversely, visible decline intensifies scrutiny. This period functions as a stress test for organizational planning. Adaptability under pressure distinguishes contenders from pretenders. Kansas City's infrastructure now faces examination in real time. The outcome will shape expectations for postseason viability. Professional football rewards evolution more than attachment. The Chiefs' decision to release a star player underscores commitment to future stability over past recognition. Difficult choices define serious contenders. By prioritizing structure, financial discipline, and performance metrics, the organization reinforces its long-term vision. Championship windows remain fragile, requiring proactive management. Whether this move becomes celebrated or criticized depends on execution moving forward. Yet one principle stands firm. Sustainable success demands courage to act decisively before decline becomes irreversible. Kansas City has chosen adaptation. The coming season will determine results, but the philosophy guiding this transition reflects a franchise determined to protect tomorrow rather than preserve yesterday.